You're the only friend I ever had.
Because I knew you.
And I've had so many friends.
Before you watch Wicked for Good, here's a fast, clear, and complete recap of everything that happened in Wicked Part 1. No spoilers for Part 2, just the essential story, hidden details, character arcs, and clues that set up the finale. Let's jump in.
You're green.
I am.
Just like the Broadway musical, the movie opens with No One Mourns the Wicked, where the citizens of Oz are celebrating the death of the Wicked Witch of the West. For those who don't know, the very beginning of the first movie actually loops back to the end of Wicked for Good, which means that the story we're about to recap is technically half of what led up to that moment. Before Glinda leaves, a young girl asks if it's true that Glinda and the Wicked Witch were once friends, and Glinda starts to tell the story. Elphaba was the daughter of Governor Frexbar Throp, and his wife Malena had an affair with a traveling stranger who gave her a green elixir that resulted in the birth of Elphaba and her green skin. Frex shunned Elphaba, but she was raised lovingly by her nurse Dulcibert. This wasn't shown in the film, but later Malena gets pregnant again, and Frex forces her to take milk flowers to avoid the second child being green. But that resulted into Nessaros being bound to a wheelchair and Malena dying during childbirth.
A baby is unnaturally green.
Elphaba arrives with Frex and Nessaros to Shiz University, originally just to drop Nessa off. Everybody quickly mocks Elphaba for her green skin, but she uses sarcasm to put up with it. Glinda makes a public display of trying to help Elphaba, but she tells Glinda off and rejects her offer. The students are gathered as Madame Morrible addresses them to start the year. Miss Coddle starts to wheel Nessa away, despite her insistence that she can take care of herself. Elphaba tries to stop Miss Coddle, which causes her powers to go off and make Nessa and several things float, and that gets Madame Morrible's attention, and she wants to take Elphaba under her wing so that she may eventually meet and work with the legendary Wizard of Oz. Elphaba starts to feel for the first time that things are starting to look up for her.
Then I meet the wizard, what I've waited for since birth.
Glinda accidentally volunteers to be Elphaba's roommate, where they quickly start to hate each other. They attend a class taught by a goat professor, Dr. Dillamond, where Glinda gives him a hard time for being unable to pronounce the ga in her name, but Elphaba defends him. During the lesson, Dr. Dillamond finds that someone wrote animals should be seen and not heard on the board, so he dismisses class early. Elphaba stays behind to help him clean up a broken vase. At night, Elphaba overhears Dr. Dillamond meeting with other animals as they discuss how animals in Oz are being subjugated and losing their ability to speak. Dr. Dillamond spots Elphaba, and she believes that the wizard can help fix things.
You mustn't tell another soul what you've heard and seen here tonight.
But that's why we have a wizard.
Elphaba later goes out into the woods where she meets Prince Fiyero, who accidentally hits her with his horse. While Fiyero is charming enough, Elphaba tries not to fall for it and comes off as defensive around him. Soon, everyone at Shiz learns that Fiyero is starting to attend the school. Glinda sets her sights on making him her boyfriend, while she also tries to push Bach to talk to Nessaros so he can leave her alone. Fiyero organizes a dance at the Ozdas ballroom, which turns into a big party, and Elphaba enters wearing a pointy black hat that Glinda, Fanny, and Shenshin gave her as a mean joke.
You should join us tonight. And don't tell me you have nothing to wear, because you could wear this.
Elphaba starts to dance by herself while everyone else mocks her, putting up a front to hide her emotions, but Glinda sees through it and feels bad for her actions, so she joins Elphaba in the dance and they share an emotional embrace. Elphaba and Glinda have now become friends, and Glinda learns that she has gotten a spot at Madame Morrible's sorcery seminar as thanks from Elphaba for setting Bach up with Nessa. As thanks, Glinda gives Elphaba a makeover.
Popular. You're gonna be popular.
The next day, Dr. Dillamond announces in class that he is leaving Shiz since they are no longer allowing talking animals to work there, but before he finishes, he's forcibly removed in distress before being replaced by Professor Nicodic. He starts his lesson by introducing a trembling lion cub inside a cage, something he considers a great new invention. Elphaba gets really angry at all the animal oppression and slams a bouquet of poppies on the table, which sets off her powers. They float into the air and produce a spell that puts everybody except Fiyero to sleep, and she joins Fiyero as they sneak the cub out of Shiz and take it into the woods for safety. The two appear to share a moment, but Elphaba doesn't think Fiyero would ever see her the way he sees Glinda.
I'm not that girl.
Madame Morrible walks into the classroom and sees the magic Elphaba did and writes a letter to the wizard. Days later, an invitation to the Emerald City comes in for Elphaba that gives her an opportunity to meet the wizard. Glinda prepares to bid Elphaba farewell, and in order to get Fiero's attention, also announces that in honor of Dr. Dillamond, she will henceforth just be known as Glinda. The train starts to leave, but Elphaba, feeling bad for Glinda, gets her to join as they head towards the Emerald City.
It doesn't matter, just come with me.
I couldn't possibly. This is your moment. I'm coming.
Upon arriving in the Emerald City, Elphaba and Glinda see the citizens putting on a Weezomania show to talk about how great the wizard is. Elphaba and Glinda are then brought to meet the wizard himself. He appears charismatic and asks Elphaba if she wishes for him to do something about her green skin, but she says she wants his help with the animals.
My heart's desire is for you to help the animals. Something bad is happening to them and they need you.
The wizard stalls and shows them a model for his vision for the Oz of tomorrow, to which Glinda picks the color yellow for the yellow brick road we see constructed in Wicked for Good.
Goodbye, Dorothy. Bye, Dodo. It's just that one road the whole time.
Madame Morrible surprisingly joins the three and guides Elphaba to read from a powerful spellbook called the Grimmery. They persuade her to make a monkey guard named Chistery have the ability to fly because he loves watching birds. As Elphaba reads an incantation, Chistery starts to painfully grow wings on his back. Elphaba then sees the same thing happening to all the other monkeys. The wizard and Madame Morrible are delighted at this success as they think the monkeys can make great spies across Oz, and Elphaba quickly realizes that the wizard is not only responsible for what is happening to the animals, but he is also a fraud who is incapable of performing magic. She knows they needed someone with actual magical gifts to unlock the Grimmery's power.
You have no real power.
Exactly. That's why I need you.
Elphaba steals the Grimmery and flees, and Glinda goes after her. Madame Morrible sends the flying monkeys to capture her, and the wizard also sends guards to go after them.
Bring her to me.
They are chased through the tower and even attempt to escape on a hot air balloon, but the guards block their paths and the balloon bursts and catches fire after they escape. Madame Morrible soon announces to the entire city that Elphaba is now an enemy and a wicked witch.
This wicked witch.
The news of Elphaba terrorizing Oz causes everyone to panic and try to escape, and it also causes her father Frex to have a heart attack and die. Elphaba and Glinda make it to the attic, where Glinda tries to convince Elphaba to make peace with the wizard and Madame Morrible, but Elphaba refuses. She is set to make her escape and tries to get Glinda to join her, even enchanting a broom to fly off. As the guards start to make their way up, they capture Glinda and she ultimately chooses to stay behind but lets Elphaba go. Elphaba crashes through a window with the broom plummeting all the way down until she sees her own reflection of herself as a child. She reaches out and grabs the broom, then soars high back up into the sky. Her powers cause a power surge across Oz as she declares that the wizard is never going to bring her down. Glinda can only look up in sadness, while the rest of Oz now views Elphaba as a villain.
So if you care to find me, to the western sky.
She declares that she will now go off to the west and flies off on her broom, and the movie ends to be continued. And that's the complete story of Wicked Part 1. Everything that shaped Elphaba pushed Glinda into her new role, and everything that sets up the emotional chaos we're about to walk into for Wicked for Good. Part 2 is where all these seeds pay off. The friendships, the betrayals, the lies, the propaganda, and the impossible choices each of them has to make.